Glazier, U.S. Air Force. 71 to 79.
I joined in 1968 and I served 3 years, got out in 72. Served in Vietnam from April 21st, 1969 till April 23rd, 1970, full year, so.
Russ Irvine was his name, in the Army, as you can't tell. And I was active from 1967 through 2002, I think.
John Cloyd, U.S. Army in 67 and got out in 69.
My name is Bruce Van Kerkhove. I was in the Air Force. I joined in October 5th of 1968 and was discharged on October 5th in 1972.
David G. Hoover, went in the service in October, enlisted in October of 68. Was it February of 1971 is when I got off of active duty, and then I spent 9 years in the National Guard. Okay. And Army, I'm sorry, Army.
My name is Eddie Allen. I was in the Field Artillery of the United States Army and also served on General Staff at 18th Airborne Corps. I was commissioned from the University of Oklahoma in June of 1968 and went on active duty in July, and I was out of the military in April of 1972.
A lot of it back then was still a young man's opinion. It was his duty to serve the country. And I also knew that this was going on, and this kind of eliminates any victim story of being over there, okay? I'm going to give you the accountable thing. Once I was in the Army, I knew what was going on. I knew in my heart I needed to be over there. Got my wish.
Well, my grandfather joined the Army in World War I, and my dad was in the Army in World War II, and I felt an obligation to serve in the military as well.
I volunteered for the draft because I was going to be drafted anyway. I had gotten out of college, and they don't like you just hanging out, you know. So yeah, I didn't enlist, but I told them I was ready to go, and that's where I ended up.
The big reason I joined is I was probably going to get drafted because I didn't go to college, and I heard about the flight program, high school to flight school in the Army, and I qualified to go to Army Aviation School to fly helicopters. And I was married, or still married, to Cindy at the time, and she thought it was a fine idea. And I just figured that it was going to take me a good year to get through all the training and see where it ended up. And I knew where it was going to end up, but at that time, I guess I went to Vietnam in January of 1970, the early part, and got home February 13th.
I had a special letter from LBJ to asking if I would join the services out of college. And so after 2 years of college, I went to help LBJ get his thing done.
I was in the Army ROTC unit at the University of Oklahoma when I got a call to come in to see the professor of military science, whose name was Colonel Wiltsey. And he offered me the opportunity to take a commission without a degree. This was very unusual, but I took the commission, and I've never regretted that.
And I grew up in all small towns, so the activity for getting a good job, it was not available. Every night there was the news breaks that always says, well, the U.S. is doing this in Vietnam, and also this is the casualties. That was the thing. It was the casualties that were there. They'd just bring them up on the TV and say, there's how many people died today.
And you still wanted to go even though you saw that?
Yeah.
Well, you know, back then it was just 3 stations and, you know, the newspaper and not all the social media and all the cable TV, but it was just nightly news, you know. What was his name? Walter Cronkite.
Well, we watched every night the body counts and stuff, so, you know, I knew it was something maybe I needed to help deal with, so.
Well, my professors of military science at the University of Oklahoma were, for the most part, they were all Vietnam veterans, and they, a lot of them came back. They were boogered up physically.
And you know, there was several guys that joined up out of high school, and I felt that the war would be over by the time I got out of flight school. Well, that didn't happen. So we just made the best of it, and we were fortunate. So
A lot of times I was taken with the component I had to replace by helicopter, right out where the vehicle was broken. So the helicopter did not wait around. So anyway, I could be out there a day or two. So, and you had to find your own way home. So it was all good though, you know, getting the job done. So, you know.
We had our own little area for our platoon. Be sometimes just one dog, sometimes, you know, 2 or 3, depending on what was going on and how long they were going to be out.
once you got to Vietnam, I mean, it was serious. It was really serious. Every flight was serious.
What was coming home like for you?
Coming home from Nam, family was all there, nobody else. It wasn't until probably 2012 that I ever heard the expression, welcome home. So, yeah. Anyway, somewhat better now. We went into hiding after we got home. So
Everybody went over there and did their job. And yeah, it wasn't, we knew it was kind of being treated like bull crap, but we did our job. We thought we were doing the right thing. And I'll be quite honest, when I came back, I never said the word Vietnam for 10 years. I didn't. I mean,
But yeah, it was hard. You know, you get in the group with a bunch of military people and it's just like family. You don't fit in. I would say to anybody who hasn't gone to Memorial and seen it, and you run your hands across it, you get the full impact of what it is.
I've been there, and when I first started going to the wall, it just, I was physically, literally cold, no matter what the temperature was. It just made me cold, and it made me thankful that I wasn't on the wall, and it also made me appreciate the people that were there. It was always basically silent.
no, but when you touch the wall, physically put a hand on it, there's just something goes on, okay?
There were people that, you know, were touching the wall or putting a rose down or a boot or, you know.
As seeing all the names on the Vietnam memorial and the people that were making stencils and trying to find people. So I don't know. There are certain aspects of the war that do bring emotion to the forefront for me.
Number one, the war will never end for most of us. You know, there's still stuff goes on that haunts us. There's a lot of them are cherished memories, some of them are not.
It would be that we may not, or we wanted to be over there because we're Americans. And we're brothers and sisters.
I guess the biggest thing that I have are the people who really said bad things about Vietnam. They didn't understand it. They didn't go there. They didn't lose a person or a friend or a family member during that. And so they have no such cognizance of what it was about.